A very good evening, mrutv viewers. Tonight we bring you hot news live. Ssendija in the studios. News headlines. U.S. regulators have formally approved coronavirus vaccine. The UK government accused of abandoning a British man with HIV. England Chancellor Rishi Sunak unveiled €5 billion fund to assist high street businesses. A mother drops her children through the window. And in sports, Messi brilliance guides Barcelona past Sevilla in Premier Liga. U.S. regulators have formally approved a single-shot Johnson & Johnson coronavirus vaccine. This has been done in order to curb up the widespread of coronavirus worldwide. Let us have a report from Davis Mohez, live from UK.
FDA approves single-shot jab. U.S. regulators have formally approved the single-shot Johnson & Johnson coronavirus vaccine, the third jab to be authorized in the country. The vaccine is said to be a cost-effective alternative to the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines and can be stored in a refrigerator instead of a freezer. Trials found it prevented serious illness but was 66% effective overall when moderate cases were included. The vaccine is made by the Belgian firm Janssen. The company has agreed to provide the US with 100 million doses by the end of June. The first doses will be available to the US public as early as next week. The UK, EU and Canada have also ordered doses, and 500 million doses have been ordered through the COVAX scheme to supply poorer nations. The authorization by the US Food and Drug Administration came after an external committee of experts unanimously backed the vaccine on Friday. Results from trials conducted in the US, South Africa and Brazil showed it was more than 85% effective at preventing serious illness and 66% effective overall when moderate cases were included. Notably, there were no deaths among participants who had received the vaccine and no hospital admissions after 28 days post-vaccine. Overall protection was lower in South Africa and Brazil, where the virus variants have become dominant, but defense against severe or critical illness was similarly high. South Africa began administering the unapproved Johnson & Johnson jab to healthcare workers as part of a study earlier this month. It came after earlier trials suggested that the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine offered minimal protection against mild disease from the variant dominant in large parts of the country. So far, the only other country to approve the vaccine for emergency use is Bahrain, which gave it the green light on Thursday. Because the vaccine will require fewer doses than its two-shot Pfizer and Moderna counterparts, it will also require fewer vaccine appointments and medical staff. Reporting for mrutv News, this is Muhwezi Davis.
Thank you, Davis, for that report. UK government accused of abandoning a British man with HIV imprisoned in United Arab Emirates. Let us have Rochin Nansubuga live from UK.
UK government accused of abandoning British man with HIV imprisoned in UAE. The case of Michael Smith, who was pardoned in 2014 for his alleged crime, has been brought back into the spotlight by news of Nansubuga Rochin. The government has been accused of abandoning a British man with HIV, who has been locked up for more than a decade on a 6-year criminal sentence in the United Arab Emirates, despite having been abandoned in 2014. International United Nations WASH, a UK human rights group, has written to Parliament's Human Rights to raise the case of a 50-year-old Michael Smith, who was first detained in 2019 in Thailand before being extradited to the UAE in 2011. Mr. Smith was initially arrested on charges of stealing $100 million from a property farm owned by Emirates Vice President and Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. This charge was later reduced to $500,000. He spent just over 2 years in a Thai jail fighting for his case, during which time he claims to have contracted HIV in a prison hospital.
Thank you, Roche Nansubga, for that report. Mother drops her children through the window in Istanbul due to the outbreak of fire. This has happened last evening when all were gathered in the room and then the fire broke out. Let us have more information from Dafin Kayaga, live from Istanbul.
A mother drops children from the window to escape Istanbul apartment fire. A mother in Istanbul was forced to drop her 4 children from their apartment window to save them from the burning fire. The fire broke out at the entrance to the family's flat, causing the parents to take drastic action before firefighters arrived. Fortunately, all the children and their mother survived.
England Chancellor Rishi Sunak unveiled €5 billion fund to assist the high street businesses in England. This has been done in order to solve the problems that have been caused by the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic. Let us have ssendija Dimitrios live from England. A new €5 billion fund to help high street recover from COVID-19 pandemic. A €5 billion scheme for high street shops and hospitality firm in England has been unveiled with Rishi Sunak promising more support to come for the economy. Ahead of Wednesday's budget, the Chancellor said the grant worth as much as €18,000 per firm will help them to reopen as England sees lockdown. It was broadly welcomed by the firm's owners. Some groups said it was not enough, despite concerns about the country's debt. Mr. Sunak told BBC Show this priority was still job and firms. The Chancellor said public finances face enormous strain due to the pandemic. I want to level with people about challenges we face, he said. But the news of €5 billion grant scheme would help people to reopen their businesses, and this is the right thing to do now, Mr. Sunak said. Nearly 700,000 shops, restaurants, hotels, hair salons, gyms, and other businesses in England will be eligible for the so-called Restart Grant to be distributed directly to farms by local authorities from April. It will replace the current monthly grant system. The funding takes the total spent on direct grants to business during pandemic to €25 billion, the Treasurer said. mrutv, ssendija Dimitrios tonight. Out in sports, Messi brilliance guides Barcelona past Sevilla Premier La Liga. Let us have Senoga Sinan live from Spain.
Messi brilliance guides Barca past Sevilla. Lionel Messi scored and created the other as Barcelona beat Sevilla 2-0 and went 2 points within the reach of La Liga leaders Atletico Madrid. Messi set up Ousmane Dembele to slot home the opener before teammate Sergio Dest hit the post. The Barca captain made it 2-0 with only 5 minutes to normal time. That was his 38th goal against Sevilla, 6 more than he has managed against any other side. It should be noted that both sides will meet again on Wednesday in the Copa del Rey semi-final second leg. For MRI TV, I'm Snan Senoga.
Thank you for watching mrutv news, and don't forget again to subscribe to our social media platforms and contact us whenever it's possible. A very good evening.